Okay, I want to talk about Legendary Smith progression in terms of Final Fantasy III party dynamics. I also want to talk about stuff regarding the end game and how all of this really fancy gear influences that, plus Ultima Weapon. Ultima Weapon you get earlier. If you have just regular DS and all the online stuff has been shut down for this, previously I said I wasn't going to cover this stuff because it's like, oh, you have no access to this stuff, you have no access. Action replay, baby, now you have access. So, yeah, forgot about that. I forgot I not only had the action replay, but that I've done this before. I've done it. And you can do it too, hopefully. Action replay. I don't know if the prices have inflated on that or something, maybe. I don't know. But I have an old one that still works sometimes. And it's fantastic. So, the number one stuff that we're going to be taking a look at here is Artemis Bow, Magic Lance, Mighty Hammer, Muramasa, Sage's Staff, especially Save the Queen, Ultima Weapon, which isn't here, but it's just amazing. All stats plus 15 is ridiculous. Attack power 255 is ridiculous. Crimson Vest, all stats plus 10 is ridiculous as well. And then we also have the Ballad Crown here. Very, very nice. All of these things are phenomenal. And, well, some of them are even better than others. But let's get into the actual progression. Yes, so here's the classic stuff, the Knight and Black Mage sort of scenarios. I already talked about that in terms of past Final Fantasy III job and party dynamic analysis. I am going to link that in the description and in a pinned comment below. Do watch that before you get into this because it's going to contain a lot of stuff from that, and I'm just going to gloss over it. So, in this video, Legendary Smith progression, you want a physically attacking red mage instead of a monk. You just want that for convenient investment. Yes, it's going to be a lack in overall physical damage, but you will have access to better magic damage, you will have better back attack domination, you'll have better progression in terms of grinding, you'll also have just dominating in terms of survival and defense, just being able to have all of your ice stuff for Salamander, being able to drop all these like blizzards and thundaras and shit on certain bosses in the mid game is very good. Very good, very good. So, you'll just have overall more consistent of a time, and we'll be using Red Mage a lot later. So having this investment now is key. Fire Crystal. This is where things switch around. So now we have Knight in our third party member's spot. Black Mage invested this classic with Knight, and then we have Ranger here. Ranger in the fourth slot instead of the third slot. Well, we'll see how this goes, but Ranger is just going to be more martial proficiency leveling for our main physically attacking damage dealer in the future. And we are going to want Knight, Ranger, plus other stuff later on in the mid game. So having this here is good. We're still going to have this character be Knight eventually, which is going to be interesting. But this is just going to be, we want our Knight Black Mage stuff, and we want later on stuff to happen as well. So we're going to have Knight in the third slot, just for now. Water Crystal. This is interesting. Now things get spicy because, guess what? In the Water Crystal era, we get access to the Ultima Weapon. 255 attack, plus 15 to all stats. This is when things get absolutely ridiculous. And this is when our Knight gets to go sicko mode, basically. We have our Knight here. A Knight starts to pop off. That's amazing. Good job, Knight. So, yeah, Knight plus Ancient Sword, or Ultima Weapon plus Ancient Sword, or Ultima Weapon plus Defender. Not only having all of that, but also having your healing spells, which is very good. For dungeon crawls at this point is just ridiculous. That's so good. Classic stuff here. This Bard is going to be even better later on, because our Red Mage is going to be even better later on. And yeah, Dragoon for the usual stuff right now for Garuda, but later on this Dragoon is going to be ridiculous, because we are going to have the Magic Lance as well. Still, it's going to just do the usual stuff, but better. Same old Thief, Gungnir, all that, we're just going to gloss over. Continue on to the Earth Crystal, which now we finally have access to all of our Legendary Smith stuff. Yay! We are popping off now. Sage Bard, as usual. But now we have Crimson Vest for Red Mage, and we are investing in Knight and not Ninja, because we want to save the Queen. You look at Red Mage, all the stat bonuses you can get from not only stacking Ultima Weapon, Excalibur, Crimson Vest, but also Protect Ring. That's a plus 32 total to every single stat. Ridiculous. And the Red Mage benefits from the most because they have lower stat spread all around. So the Red Mage is popping off physically with agility, good vitality, good in and mind to do all sorts of nasty stuff. We're investing in Knight for the Save the Queen because Save the Queen has infinite reflect on use. It's only one target, but some of these late game casters, I have this on video in my series, Echidna cast a single target tornado or a single target death. Being able to say, oh, I'm going to put a reflect up for free with my Knight and maybe have my Sage not cast Catastro and Prey, which is pretty wasteful considering Catastro is a multi-target reflect instead of a single target. Being able to save that slot regardless and then go for a blasting spell like a flare or do something else like drop a haste or a protect. It's like, oh, now we're getting extra spicy. So all of that is incredible. All of that's phenomenal. Being able to maybe haste the Knight is going to be ridiculous. But Red Mage later on is going to be huge as well. Now, Ranger is going to get us covered, where Ninja would normally be extremely useful in terms of pure damage with all of that agility. I'm talking Doga and Nune. I'm talking elemental stuff versus Leviathan is still there. But now it's even better with your Artemis bow. Incredible. We are dropping Doga Nune. No problem. We're dropping them like it's nothing. We are dropping Leviathan. No problem. And, of course, Magic Lance, Dragoon, dropping Bahamut, no problem. We're dropping Ahriman, no problem. One-shotting both of them, not even an issue. Standard stuff, just taken to the next level. Red Mage, way later on. Ooh, this is just going to be on the next level because of all the stat bonuses, which I said, but also because he can heal. We have somebody that can heal like that effectively when we don't need too much of it. Oh boy, now we can go double Bard Viking. Wow, double Bard Viking is dominance. Double Bard is just filthy. Bard was already disgusting. Double Bard? Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah. So, here are what the endgame party dynamics really look like. For caster bosses, mini bosses, Sage, being able to go Catastro, Viking Bard, that's a standard core. Knight, not only is that your damage dealer, but we are reapplying a reflect if a boss is going to cast on a single target. So we have damage, but we have all sorts of utility. We're just shutting these bosses down. And Bard is coming in clutch with the Requiem percentile damage, which is just nasty on these late game bosses. We already know that though. Bard is nuts. Now, next dynamic. Double Bard Viking and Red Mage, absolutely disgusting. This is going to be especially good for Twin-Headed Dragon because it's so physically attacking. And we have Cloud of Darkness, yeah, the final boss. We're able to go double Bard Viking Red Mage. With all the stat boosts, dropping Kiragas, we are set. We do not even have an issue because all of our mind is so high. And our dominance with double Requiem is so high, it's not even going to be a problem. When the boss HP gets pretty low, we can start dropping Peons, and we can go in for the kill with physically attacking Red Mage, or we can even drop some spells, spell items with the Bard, like Chocobo's Wrath and White Musk, to get that final damage push in. Doesn't matter, it's still ridiculous. Just absolutely dominant. Now, Iron Giant. Sometimes you want all of this healing and all this benefit, but then maybe Iron Giant does some weird shit or gets a critical, or you don't know which spells to use in which order. Well, we have the Red Mage that's going to help you out, and it also deals some good damage on top of that. Very, very nice. Very good. Standard stuff is standard though. All of this is usual. If you really wanted to do the extra grinding, going devout would be nice. But here's the thing, sometimes the Iron Giant just deals like no damage early on. Maybe you get a really lucky all physical attack, no criticals or what have you once your turtle shell is up in the early phase on your Viking. You don't need too much healing. Now we can go Sage, Red Mage attack, or certain things happen, maybe you want to cover more with Sage. Well, we can swap things all around. Maybe you want to use a low level slot with Red Mage and then drop something good like a haste on the Red Mage for later on physical attacks when we get into the final phase so that your Red Mage can dish out big time physical damage. Sage, very spicy. Okay, maybe we want to drop a flare on him for just big magical damage at the time when we're in more of a simple era to try to get into that more complex swipe type era so that we, or not era, phase in the boss so that we can just start using just Sage for healing and then Red Mage for all the other stuff. There's all sorts of good stuff that's here. Also, just being able to drop double protects if we want to is pretty nasty. In a round, just to have that bonus defenses on top of everything else is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it's just it gets to a certain point where the amount of utility that you have on top of physical damage, on top of your bar doing that percentile damage, on top of the Sage maybe coming in with a flare sometimes. Oh man. Talking dominance. We're talking dominance on the toughest boss in the game, and we ain't even using Onion Knights. No Onion Knights. Totally fine. Totally fine. I think the spiciest part by far is not going to be your Iron Giant dominance, although that's going to be very fun. Very nice. The spiciest part is going to be this in the end game. And this. Being able to do your double barred stuff, just absolutely shit on these bosses, is going to be an incredibly satisfying time. Being able to go Sage, Viking Bard, Knight, and refresh Reflex like that, and be physically attacking with something that you might have invested in, like, on the early game and then totally forgot about or totally put to the side, you know, the Toy Story scene, like, oh, I don't want to, you know, I forget the exact line. Like, I don't want to play with you anymore, I think that's it. Being able to have this guy back in the forefront to deal some absolutely solid damage and have all this utility, whoa, that's ridiculous. It's so good. So, all this stuff is going to be incredibly fun. This is going to be a good time too, but it is still just one boss battle. Even though it's a super boss, it is still a good time. Alright, hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to enjoy it when I do my series on this. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be absolute dominance. And this double bard scenario, this knight which saved the queen scenario, woo! I'm going to have a great time. And I hope you'll have a good time either playing and or watching. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. And I'll see you guys some other time. Bye.